Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Fantasy Podcast. Before we get started today, we have another water bet video, and this week we had 3 people involved. We had Adam, Nick, and myself, and the most points got to pour water on the other 2, so that was pretty cool. But what's happened is we have the score here. Nick had 3, Adam's had 2, and I had 1. So Adam and I both lost, but Nick came down with the flu this week, so he's not going to make it. And that actually disqualifies him from the water bet, making Adam the winner. And we filmed a short video of what happened, so here it is. Check it out.
Alright, guys. Nick is under the weather, so I'm standing in, making sure Chris pays for his bets. He's working out. Got here a little bit early. So we're gonna get him. I hope we're not here for hours. Oh my God! Welcome to week 7, baby. Let's go!
What's up, guys? Oh my gosh, I'm wet as fuck right now. I'm still wet from that earlier, but welcome into the Fantasy Podcast, week number 7, guys. It's been a great season so far. Very fun with the podcast, and I am joined by Adam Fuad, who made the trek all the way down from Escondido to make it here. Adam, welcome into the studios.
Hello, hello. I am wet for different reasons.
Adam got wet by pouring the water on me. It actually a lot of it got on him as well. So
Also referring to my win over Timmy. Sorry, Timmy. I love you.
Adam's wet from his win. All right, cool. Timmy. Well, so Adam got the win. We know that, and then I got the win too. So I'm happy. It feels good getting the win, doesn't it?
Oh yeah. I had a bit of a debacle this week with Melvin Gordon. He was a game time decision, which normally, whatever, it's easy to take out your phone and look shit up. But when it's at 6 in the morning because it's a London game, not so fun. So really shitty way to wake up in the morning, but it pulled through. So.
Dude, when I saw that, because I was like looking from my bed at like 7 a.m. what the stats were. Mainly I was concerned that Keenan Allen wasn't scoring because I just traded him. I was like, please don't score Keenan Allen. But I was like, dude, Gordon has no points. And I was like, Gordon's out. And I was like, oh, did Adam not play him? Or did Adam play him? And you didn't. You fucking said him, which is crazy. That's clutch.
Yeah, I was concerned. I put him in my flex. Once I heard the hamstring issue, I instantly just thought Fournette, Dalvin Cook, hamstrings are fucked. So, and they're going into a bye, so there was a very real chance that they were just going to rest him through the bye. You know, that makes sense. So I just didn't want to risk it. I put him in my flex, and then ended up playing Corey Davis the last second instead. I was talking to Dudo, who was also up at that time, strangely enough, on a Sunday, but and he was stoked on putting Eckler in. So we debated, and I went for Davis for upside, which ended up being the bad decision, but you know.
Oh well.
It all worked out in the end.
You got the win, Adam. I got the win too. I'm really happy about it. We're going to talk about specifics in a little bit. We've got 6 matchups this week. Big matchups, as it's so important right now during the season to get the fantasy, the playoff positioning, basically. So these wins are super important to make yourself have a chance later on. But that being said, we got 6 great matchups, and we're going to start with number 1. Let's take a look at the big Bryce's team versus Jake. Ertz Hurts versus Flutie Flakes. Bryce with a huge win last week, and with a huge win this week. Goddamn,
just spanked him.
Dang, that's a huge win. That's like a 60-point win for Bryce again. And like we were talking shit about Bryce early in the season. I know that you weren't here specifically, but definitely recorded shit talking about Bryce's team. Now I cannot say that at all. Bryce has a good team now, scoring 138.1 points to Jake's 71. But geez, that's a huge total. It's tough to win if Bryce scores that much against you.
I mean, his plan, it's coming to fruition. Just looking at his lineup here, I mean, again, these are all people that he had to wait to come into their roles, aside from Ertz and Matt Ryan, who we acquired through trade. Odell just wasn't performing. Alshon Jeffrey was injured. I mean, Sony Michel, that's an unfortunate occurrence, but I mean...
Yeah, there's a D next to Sony Michel's name. He's doubtful. It's not looking good. I heard he has an MCL sprain, and but they said in a report that it's not a big issue, like it's not that bad, which could mean, a few weeks? Basically, I think what that means is he's not out for the season, which Bryce is happy about.
He'll be back. We have an IR spot as well. I don't think that they're going to end up putting him on the injured reserve, so I doubt that. Actually, I doubt he'll be able to put him on the IR spot, so that kind of sucks. Eats up some roster space. But, I mean, it's good to know that if he does get to playoffs, he'll at least be able to probably use Sony Michel. Yeah, and you made a good point about Bryce's team really coming into their own. Just taking a look at the numbers here, like huge totals all across the board pretty much. Like Latavius Murray, 20+. OBJ, huge game, 24+. Alshon Jeffrey, 18.3. Zach Ertz, the same score, 18.3. These are gnarly numbers here, and it's good. And in addition to that, Kerryon Johnson, 18.9. So just huge production from Bryce. And like you said, Adam, they're coming into their own. Kerryon Johnson, the beginning of the year, was trash. Well, essentially, he just wasn't getting any play. But nowadays, getting touches, he's getting points. It just takes a simple injury sometimes for the people to break out. Look, he's got top players in lots of positions. Ravens defense underperforming this week, but against Drew Brees, of course, you're not going to deliver blowout like last week when they set franchise records. Dan Bailey, tried and true, old reliable. Yeah, and then he's got Marlon Mack as well. Marlon Mack, Doug Martin. So, the Sony Michel injury may not hurt as bad as it would hurt one of us. So that's a huge point. Yeah. I was going to say that, Bryce is putting Mack right in there for Michel. He's going to be fine. He's a force to be reckoned with, I think, right now. You didn't think it was going to happen in week 1, but now here in week 7, it's probably one of the toughest matchups. So good for Bryce. Happy you're getting these point totals, man. That feels great. Must be fun on Sundays. 138.1 for Bryce, but then Jake has a paltry 71, the second lowest point total of the week from any manager. 71 points. It's tough. Just looking at it as a bench initially, he had some points on the bench. Funchess had a good game. But really looking up and down Jake's lineup, just not much there. Philip Lindsay had a good game. I think it was on Thursday, I believe. Started the week out well for Jake and just did not go well from there. Joe Mixon had a below-average game, less than 7 points. No one expected that either. That is an anomalous performance from Joe Mixon. He's at least going to get you 10 usually. That is bizarre. Yeah. The offense couldn't get anything going against Kansas City. It seems just like Andy Reid kind of coached them to... They understand things now, I guess, all the rookies, but god damn. Kansas City is a great team. You don't think about defense when you think about Kansas City, but this game they really stepped up. I know Dalton, who we'll probably talk about in a little bit, but he had 7 points. Oh yeah, it was miserable. You could just see him just eyeing Mahomes. He was not a happy camper. Philip Lindsay will probably be getting more work now too, just because Royce Freeman's going to be out a game or so. Antonio Brown on bye, that's got to hurt, especially with your first round pick. Don't know why he's still rostering Jack Doyle. But Jalen Richard, that will be very helpful next week now. Doug Martin, I feel like, is not going to be worth as much as Jalen Richard just because they're going to be playing from behind all the time. And, we've seen how Doug Martin's been performing. So yeah, it's true. And you mentioned eyeing Mahomes there. I think the Bengals really are looking at him like, we need a quarterback like that. Yeah. Andy Dalton, the guy is consistently below average to below average. You think it's time for a new quarterback in Cincinnati? I definitely would consider it with the next couple drafts. It all depends on how Dalton comes through towards the end of the year. You got to remember last year how he had 5 or 6 interceptions in the first game of the season, right? So Dalton, I thought he was just going to be garbage this year. He proved me wrong, but maybe it's some regression right now. Maybe he's reverting back to his own ways because the Chiefs should not be an intimidating defense right now. They're one of the worst with the Bucs. That should have been a barn. Yeah, you'd think that they would have a great game. All those Bengals are going to score tons of points. Either A, the Bengals just messed up and they didn't do well, or maybe Kansas City's starting to stir their things up over there. He was just force-feeding Green. I watched that game. Every single play, just trying to throw it to Green. I know, because I had Uzuma. I forgot his number, but I was praying come on, Uzuma. Yeah. Just give it to Green every single time. Tyler Boyd got no play. Really? No play. Yeah. So... he didn't do too well either, but all is not lost for Jake's team. Was he 3-4? Tied with Ertz Hurts. Wow. So, I mean, it's contentious right now for that last playoff berth.
Yeah, 2, 3, and 4 teams. Bryce is looking a little better. I think more momentum on his side. Not that Jake's is looking terrible, but just definitely an poor week for him. 71, you're not happy about it. You maybe want to think about making changes, or if you're feeling confident, sticking with your guys. But either way, Jake does fall to 3 and 4, and Bryce improves to 3 and 4. Bryce, congrats again on the week. That's 2 in a row. No, sorry, 3 in a row for Bryce there. So good for him. Yeah, and moving on to the next matchup here, guys.
If we water bet on Bryce's playoffs, like I'm hoping that.
That's a great bet, Adam. That's a huge bet right there.
I'm rooting for you, Bryce.
It's definitely a storyline of this year. It's fun.
The underdog.
Yeah, for sure. So, we got another matchup here, and I think you have something to say about it. You probably will. Adam, your team beating Timmy's 123.3 to 96.9. Adam, why don't you break it down here for us?
I'm honestly surprised that it happened. I mean, I had kind of written this week off as a loss going against Timmy. I mean, he's got Tom Brady, Saquon Barkley, Tevin Coleman now stepping in after the Devonta Freeman final injury, being put on IR and everything. Sanu's been doing well. He hasn't had one game below 10 points, and he had that this time. So that was great. Charles Clay, that was kind of a questionable decision, but he had Gronk out last minute as well. Wendell Smallwood wasn't that great of a play either, but I mean better than my Corey Clements. So all around, when I saw he had benched Allen Robinson, I was excited. I was stoked, and then it turned out to be a really good decision for him. Mark Walton, again, he's just waiting and biding his time, hoping that Mixon gets injured. He had a couple people on bye as well. He initially had Cole Beasley in there, took him out, and I'm glad that he did.
Yeah, I don't think it would have affected the outcome, but obviously, you're happy about it.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, I mean, Timmy's team, great. I mean, it's a good team, and I went out and made a hot take bold move last week, and I said that I thought Timmy could potentially repeat as champion. He didn't really back it up with this week. Timmy, man, what were you doing, man? I know you're listening right now. You let me down, but I still have faith in you, man. I still have faith in you. You've got a sick team. Saquon Barkley, dude. I mean, obviously, we talked about him every single week. Yeah. He's huge. I mean, it's almost like it's kind of like Gordon's status, and obviously it is. That's why he drafted him so high. But he's really coming through, as opposed to some other guys. You're happy with your pick in Saquon.
Yeah, he's just a workhorse. I feel bad for the kid because they're not getting anything done, and they just keep giving it to him and giving it to him and giving it to him. And I'm like, holy shit, man! Like, we gotta make sure this kid has a career. Like, you can't be doing it for games that you're not going to win.
Yeah,
like, I feel horrible. And he just gets bowled over on the pass blocking, too.
The Giants are so bad.
They're so bad, but you can't do anything with Eli now. You just have to keep him on, like, just for the fan base and everything.
Yeah.
And I feel like apologies are owed for the last coach, because when he got benched, I mean, yeah, it was for Geno Smith, which is horrible decision. But I understand the benching of him now. I mean, if he had better options, maybe he wouldn't have, maybe he'd still have a job.
What are the odds, Adam, that Eli retires at the end of this year?
Oh, I think he's going to. I think Peyton's going to, pressure him or something, or he's just going to see.
Peyton's going to say, buddy.
If he doesn't, yeah, I mean,
come here, do some State Farm commercials with me, man.
Yeah, right. It's really hard when he's not going to get.
Is he even going to get? Yeah,
no,
is he even?
No one wants.
I mean,
Eli.
He does have a couple Super Bowls.
No one wants Eli. As a Chargers fan, I like seeing him fail. I like seeing that mouth breather fail. But it is like painful to watch. Like last game, actually, he did have some throws at the very end, but he threw for like a ridiculous amount without getting a touchdown. Like, it was bad, and those quarterback sneaks too. It is miserable right now for the Giants. They're already doing some rebuilding right now too. They're trading away Eli Apple, a bunch of little things. So we'll see. I mean, he could get traded. Doubtful, but.
Another thing about this is that Thielen, again, over 100 yards. This is like the insane streak here. It's like 7 games in a row with over 100 yards, like some record. I think he tied a record. I think he
broke it this time. He set one.
I mean, 7 in a row is insane, man. And yeah, he's still the number 1 receiver, Adam Thielen. Guys, who would have thought? I mean, obviously a lot of people didn't think that,
did
but
not expect a wide receiver.
That's good for him, man. And yeah, it's important for Timmy because he's got his 2 guys. He's got Barkley and he's got Thielen, and those are his dudes. Brady's
Gronk as well. Gronk as well, but Gronk has not been Gronk this year.
No way.
He just doesn't even seem like his heart's in it. Honestly, but
weird. He was talking about retiring before the year.
Yeah,
and now he's like not even putting up points.
WWE shit or something. And I mean, he's got so many injuries. Sure. He's got a cast that he plays with. So this arm brace. I mean, it's for sure the last year for Gronk. It's definitely.
You think so? I think it's less likely than Eli, but obviously that's still like a possibility.
No.
All right, so to your side, Adam, I mean, I'm sure you can have something to say about this. I mean, huge points, 123.3. That's not a bad total. It's going to get you wins lots of times. But
without my top 2 running backs as well, so that is what I was stoked on.
Unbelievable, man. I mean, yeah, you didn't have Gordon, nor did you have Connor, because Connor's on bye. And then Gordon, obviously, we talked about that. He had the injury. Mm-hmm. So you just plugged some dudes in there, and they didn't do very well for you, but you had the backing up cast in order to get the points necessary in order to get you to win.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So yeah, I had Jared Cook on bye as well, so I had to do a bunch of shuffling this week. So I picked up Uzomah.
Now I know why you want to trade me Uzomah, because you have a guy. You already have a dude. That's a
Jared
good
Cook.
play.
I just got Evan Ingram in a trade as well. So 3 tight ends. No need for 3 tight ends. So he is on the block if anyone wants a tight end. Uzomah, I'll package him with someone, hit me up.
Hit him up.
Yep. So I had to put Corey Davis in. I was between him or Derrick Henry. Those were my only 2 options of people who I could put in at 6 in the morning. Everyone else was on bye. I had no one else to put in. So made a bad decision with that. Should have put Henry in, but ended up working out. I mean, Sanders and Brown, they were just monsters. Mahomes, an animal. Royce Freeman gave me a good floor. Corey Clement, I was, concerned about that. I have no idea what happened there. Didn't use him in the passing game at all. Smallwood and him were like neck and neck with snaps. It just not feeling good. And then Texans just destroyed Bortles.
Dude, the 1 week you could have played Derrick Henry, he actually scores.
Yep.
So the guy, he let you down, man. I don't like him. I've already told this to you, Adam. I do not like Derrick Henry.
I didn't like Derrick Henry either, man. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you drafted him on accident.
Yeah, so I was at work when I was doing the drafting, and I was doing it on my phone, and I had like one of those wallet cases. So I was like precariously holding it, shuffling some papers, and then I was doing research on the running backs. I was going to pick up, I don't know if like Thielen was up, but Diggs or one of those receivers I was going to grab.
You could have got Diggs instead of Derrick Henry.
He was my 3rd round pick. He's my third pick.
Oh, that's disgusting, dude.
Isn't that horrible? So I had like written my season off at the beginning of the year. I was like, fuck, dude. Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's gross.
That's why I was so trade heavy and just like so fab heavy in the beginning. I had to overcompensate for that. But I mean, it ends up turning out well, so.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, you're good.
Not too shabby.
Well, dude, congrats, man. 5-2. That's the win, bringing you up to that record. Beating Timmy, who falls to 3-4. A couple of 3-4 teams here now. You got the 123.3 point total. Timmy had 96.9. So it's gonna be. Wasn't that close, but you're happy with your team.
Yeah, I was getting concerned towards the end. They were getting a lot of garbage time stuff done, and I just kept just Barkley, and I was like, fuck. I mean, you're not happy either way if you're watching a game and like the guy's got players on both of the teams. Like when one team is shut down, the relief is like fleeting because boom, back to the other guys.
Like, fantasy football, man.
Oh man, it's making me lose my hair. I swear to God.
It's good. I think it's good. So yeah, once again, Adam beating Timmy. We got some more matchups to go into here. We had a win from Ari this week. Ari beating Max, 105.8 to 79.6. Ari improving to 2-5. Max falling to 5-2.
Without a tight end, he had a gap in his lineup.
Oh my gosh, dude! I can believe he just straight up said, "I am not going to play a tight end this week." That is cocky as fuck. But maybe he was smart too.
Fucking punked him.
He wanted to keep Watkins. And I don't know about that, but I didn't think
I would have dropped someone. I would have dropped someone.
Okay, then we know it already was a good move because he gets to keep Watkins.
Yeah, I mean it worked out. That is a gamble. I mean, but when your record is like that, I mean I guess it just fuels you.
If I was Ari at this point, I would definitely put my tight end because I wanted to win so bad. But I think Ari's also thinking long term here, guys, for sure. He's thinking about maybe next year. He's already talked about doing draft pick trading. I don't think he's going to be doing any draft pick trading because he's got to win. And he's potentially, going to maybe be getting the playoffs. So it might slow down in terms of draft pick trading there. But Ari,
he doesn't have a tight end at all. He has to pick up a tight end.
No, I think he made a trade. So there's a trade coming. I think it was from Pat. I think he sent over
Gotcha.
someone decent. So Ari's looking good in that position coming up. But Ari 105.8 points. Probably one of his better totals this year, getting his second win. Jameis Winston, who he got off the waiver wire, is having decent games now. I mean, people said he's going to be one of the top quarterbacks when he came back, and he's not really killing it, but he's definitely putting up good numbers. Certainly better than like Andy Dalton. But obviously we know that Ari got Nick Chubb as well, spending like over $60 on him, putting 40 points up in his first game.
I was going to say like Nick Chubb over under first week 15 points. I think it was right about there. I think potentially Nick Chubb could be scoring some points going forward. He's a really explosive player.
Oh yeah, once he just warms up into that role, gets. I mean, he's familiar with the offense, but once it takes a while to warm up as a running back. Like you need the work to get into that groove to start performing, and I think Chubb's going to be an animal.
Definitely, because the Browns' offense is better this year. I mean, maybe like a couple years ago, you're like, I don't know, but now they're starting to score a little bit. Baker Mayfield's moving the ball a little bit, so you're feeling good about it. Really, what won Ari this week was the James White play. I mean, 25.7 points out of James White. It's huge. I mean, this player is huge for Ari. James White is like a perfect flex. He's consistently scoring he's basically an RB1. Yeah, he's the 7th ranked running back. James White.
And as long as Sony's Michelle out, he will stay an RB1. And this is a PPR league too, so he is the reception master.
Yeah.
So
in a half PPR league, you're liking receptions, and James White is as we've seen 25.7 points here. Probably a lot to do with Sony Michelle getting out in the game early. So when Michelle misses more time, we're going to see more points from James White going forward for sure.
Oh yeah, Kenyon Barner is going to be a non-factor in that offense. I mean, he might get like a little bit of work, but they have so much trust for James White. I mean, you got to think of his performance in the Super Bowl. They've kept him for a while.
It's true.
They do not really commit to running backs over there. So
you almost put James White in the category of like Gronk, Brady, not Brady, but Edelman.
He's a captain. He's a captain on the Patriots.
Okay,
yeah.
That's it. Yeah,
that's all you need to know. So
under the radar, but this year really getting out of that zone and just really blasting off. It's great.
He played him over Jordan Howard too, and Chubb over Jordan Howard. I mean, smart play, but like, wow, that's Lamar Miller started doing something. But
I think Ari spent quite a high draft pick on Howard, and he's really not performing how you really want him. I mean, I see some like 2.5 point games here, 4.9. He's not very consistent, and it's tough because 28 overall for Jordan Howard. Probably one of the reasons that Ari's not having the season he wants.
Oh yeah.
But he definitely hasn't made up with James White. I kind of like Ari's team going forward here. It's a good potential here. He just has to get his tight end in, which I think he will. Ari with the win, 105.8, beating Max, who falls to 5-2. And Max just had an off week, I think. I mean, 79.6 points. It's not typical of him. He tends to win games in the low 100s, which is a great score for fantasy. But this week, not so much.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta look. Mark Ingram going against one of the top run defenses in the league. Also splitting with Kamara. That's definitely going to eat into it. 5.2. That explains that. Frank Gore. That was a ballsy play. Did not pay off. Michael Thomas, DeAndre Hopkins. They're studs. Always start them. Eric Ebron. There was another tight end that got a lot of work this game. T.Y. Hilton was back too. It just took a lot of the targets away.
Yeah, I think Ebron's value is probably going to go down as we get forward because Hilton's back.
Once Jack Doyle returns.
And Jack Doyle, yes. I think once Jack Doyle comes back, I wouldn't even imagine Ebron. You can even put him in the starting conversation.
Oh no,
he's probably at least a tight end too.
Yeah, I mean it's a roll of the dice at that point, right? I mean you can't predict it. Tyler Boyd too. Tyler Boyd has been a stud. It was a dream matchup as well. 4.2
yeah,
points.
Man. You feel bad about that when you think he's going to go off. And if he did go off, like he did in the past weeks, maybe this is a more competitive game, but he didn't, and that kind of is the reason why Max fell. And I think also, and obviously, as we talked about Ebron and then Frank Gore, I mean, the running backs, there was no production. 9 points, total from both running backs. You're not going to win.
No. And all the potential Boyd targets just went to his adversary of the week, AJ Green, 15.2. So
right on.
There you go.
Yeah.
Adam Vinatieri, 5 points. That was high scoring, but they're not doing. They're only doing PATs with them, right? So they're not going to be doing any long kicks against the Buffalo defense when a game like that. So
yeah.
Carlos Hyde was out. I mean, probably get some work next week, but
Carlos Hyde. All right, is this the trade of the year? I traded Carlos Hyde for Devontae Adams.
Oh yeah. Regardless of the situation, regardless of this trade happening, I would have wanted to kept Devontae Adams. Carlos Hyde had an expiration date on him, from the moment. It was hourglass.
I thought
his
so.
Time was fleeting. I mean, with Nick Chubb there, he was not going to be. And he's older. His efficiency wasn't good. It was just that goal line work that was just killing it for him and the volume. But I mean,
honestly, looking at it, I'm not it wasn't. I'm not going to knock Max because
he was doing well.
13, 12, 23, 14 points the first 4 weeks. a touchdown, at least one touchdown in every game. So you figure he's going to start to do well, and then that's where I traded him, and it was basically the selling high point right there, and just fell off.
Instant drop off.
The only thing, though, I think that is in Jacksonville, Carlos Hyde could potentially start to see the majority of carries as long as Leonard Fournette's out. So I think that Max could, Max could get value from Carlos Hyde going forward. But I'm so very happy I have Devontae Adams. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, definitely won that one. And again, even in this situation, Hyde, again, he's got a timer on him. As soon as Fournette's out, he's a non-factor. Him and Yeldon both non-factors, at least in this league. What's interesting to note is look at Ezekiel Elliott's score. That's 5.2 points.
Is this Zeke's worst game?
I don't know. He's had a couple bad games.
This is definitely his worst game.
Oh yeah, there was
He had 11-point game, which
stacked
okay.
box. Amari Cooper might alleviate some of that.
15 rushes for 33 yards. That's like a 2.1 sub 2.1 yards per carry. Very bad.
Yeah, he had one game that was pretty horrible as well. I think it was last year against the Broncos. I don't know if it was that bad, but 5.2. Zeke is the whole offense, so it'll be interesting to see how it changes once Amari Cooper's in the fold. But
yeah, I don't think this is going to continue with this whole low point from Zeke thing. I think it'll probably jump back up to like at least 15 kind of thing. But good. Always glad that even with his weak performance from his best running back there, still got the win.
And the gap in the lineup, dude.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. That's crazy. Fantasy's fucked up like that. You cannot start a player and still win. Can't do that in the real NFL. No. Got to start them all. But so again, Ari gets the win, improving to 2-5 against Max, who falls to 5-2. Congrats, Ari, on your second win. And so we were going to move on to our next matchup here. But before we do that, Adam, you brought over some beer, dude. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
open this up. We got the Torpedo from Sierra Nevada.
There you go. Nice classic California ground.
Cheers, bro.
Salud.
You got the Stone IPA. That one's very nice. The Stone's great.
Oh yeah.
Remember, I drank Stone as like my first IPA when I was like 21, 20.
Solid, yeah.
It took me a few years to get into it because I had some Coors Light.
It always does. You always have to like work up. Like, I mean, me myself, I didn't like IPAs when I first started. Like, it's kind of like an acquired taste. Like, you start drinking like lighter beers, and then you graduate. My brother's the same way. Like, he just started drinking IPAs, but for ages he just didn't like them. This tasted gross to him. Yeah, you just lose taste buds as you get older, and your palate changes.
Yeah, and also you're just gonna get bored with the Coors Mountain.
Yeah, and they just feel like watered down horse piss after a while,
Sweet. Well, as I take this nice chug here, we're going to move on to the next matchup. Nick Duda, who is not joining us this week because of the flu. Nick, hope you're feeling better, man. But he is feeling good because he beat Deebs this week.
Beat Todd Gurley.
Beat the girls gone wild. As we go look into the box score, and we always take a obligatory nice stare at this.
But not too long. We're nice, respectful gentlemen.
We'll only look at the tits for just
a quick furtive side glance.
Well, if they're showing them, we'll look.
Don't want to be rude. Yeah, absolutely.
Wait, well, so Nick gets the win here, scoring 128.6, beating Deebs, who puts up a respectable 111.7. So, definitely looking at Nick's team first here. Jesus. Kareem Hunt.
Fucking animal.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's... Jesus Christ, man.
34.6 points, his best game of the year so far. And, Kansas City scored 45 points in this game. This was a reason. He was the main beneficiary of that.
Oh, yeah. Cincinnati was pissed. They were trying to, twist his legs off and shit, break his... Like, they were...
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were doing dirty little after the play sort of things on Kareem Hunt. Like, there was a couple little mini scuffles throughout the game. But, yeah, Kareem Hunt is... Look at his usage. Even Spencer Ware got a good amount of points this week just because of how bad of a blowout it was.
15 attempts for 86 yards. Compare that to Zeke's 15 for 30. Wow, off the charts, dude. And this was a number 1 draft pick for Nick, and he's panning out. And his receiving game is what brings him up there. Look at this last week, 5 receptions for 105 and a touchdown. And that's great right there. And then this week, 5 for 55 and 2 touchdowns. So his receiving is really elevating his game for sure.
And it's crazy watching him too, man. He just barrels through or spins out of people. Like, he just imposes his will. Like, it's hard to stop. I remember there was a stat from last year. He was most or most yards after contact or something, or most like forced missed tackles or something like that. But Kareem Hunt is just he's an animal. The only concern was, I mean, there's too much talent on Kansas City, so was he going to be able to replicate those numbers from last year? And now it's seeming like he's coming back into his own. I mean, last week 27, this week 34.6. He is an integral, huge, force in the offense.
Yeah, definitely a far cry from the Alex Smith-led Chiefs, who you never would see put up 45 points. Mm-hmm. Definitely a different team now. Lots of firepower. Nick, Kareem Hunt, big game. Other than that, decent games all around the board. Cousins had 17 about. Julio Jones, he had 12.9 points. And let's do this again. Did he score a touchdown?
It was close, but that only counts at horseshoes and hand grenades.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh, man.
No touchdowns again. Look at the zeros throughout the whole board. Weeks 1 through 7.
Maybe
no touchdowns.
Maybe you could play some flag football on his bye and get a touchdown then. Remember what it feels like.
Dude, I don't know what's going on. Why? This is and it's a record too. This is the most yards anyone's scored. Most yards anyone's had without a touchdown in NFL history.
Maybe he fucked over some old gypsy woman. He's cursed.
A gypsy touchdown curse. Damn.
He's cursed, man.
Well, I mean, nonetheless, you still like him on your team because you figure he's going to score eventually. He'll score before week 17, right?
I don't even fucking know now, man. There's no way to make sense of it.
It's so weird.
He's one of the best. If not, there's always a comparison. It's Antonio Brown the best? Is Julio Jones the best? It's he's the receiver that you want. He's massive. He's quick. He's got hands like a fucking. How is he not getting touchdowns?
I don't get it.
I mean, he's not even getting like triple teams sometimes, and he's open. He's not getting them. It's it's the most bizarre thing. Stephon Diggs too. I mean, he was targeted quite a bit. I mean, they're giving it to Thielen all the time, but he got a lot of targets. And look at his performance as well. His output has not been indicative of the opportunity that he's been given. I mean, obviously, Diggs and Jones are the monsters. Are going to keep him regardless. You're going to play him every week regardless, but. It's just bizarre with the amount of points that are being put up. Yeah,
I don't see a scenario in which Diggs or Jones gets out of Nick's starting lineup. I mean, he's going to be playing them every week, but Diggs I think is not getting benefits from Thielen scoring so well. I think it's definitely taking over him, but nonetheless, you still want him on your team. You feel good about it.
Oh yeah.
But Njoku, good tight end, scoring 13.2 points. Probably one of the guys that's ascending in the league. That's maybe going to be one of the better tight ends going forward. I wouldn't maybe put him in the Gronk category at all, but still, you're good to have him on your team. And Edelman puts up 12.1 points. Good game for them. Yeah,
and Njoku, he's definitely got Mayfield's trust. I remember there was a lot of issues with him with dropped catches or dropped passes for quite a while. I don't know if you watched Hard Knocks, but they had him on the machine just practicing over and over and over again.
Yeah, that's awesome. I want to do that.
Yeah, right. Messes up your hands after a while. I remember Calvin Johnson was talking about that. They're like, oh, why'd you retire? He's like, dude, if you saw what my hands look like or the damage done to my hands.
That's weak.
Calvin Johnson?
I think it's weak.
Calvin Johnson's one of the best, man. I mean, he's an animal.
What, did he retire at 30 or something? 32?
I don't know. Maybe
I don't know,
longer than that. But I mean, I know him and the Lions had some bad blood or something. So.
Yeah, most likely. There had to be something there. And people don't normally just retire, retire at that age, especially at this caliber, because he's going to get paid. He probably left about $20 to $30 million on the table.
Oh, yeah. It's not even a lot of running back scenario. They pay receivers. I mean, Antonio Brown gets his money. Le'Veon Bell is not going to get his money. Yeah. I mean, he will next year, I would assume. But... yeah, do you remember last year when there was a little bit of speculation that Calvin Johnson's coming back, and then he was still listed on the app? People would know. That was the thing. He was
Dez Bryant this year.
Oh shit! Oh yeah, Dez isn't gonna get paid.
But people won't pick Dez up.
There's too much baggage. I mean, if he was on Hard Knocks too for a couple times actually. This previous one and before, and he's toxic.
Really? Okay. Well, I think the issue is that they offered him a contract. But he's like, no.
The Ravens did, yeah.
And I think the Browns as well were interested, but I think that but Bryant wanted some exorbitant number, and
he's got an elevated sense of self. He's great, but it's his route running. So when you get older, you can't just rely on sheer raw physical talent. You have to have techniques and just refined skills to. Larry Fitzgerald, for example. I mean, he's not getting it now. That's a different situation, bad offense. But you throw him on any other team. he's going to be performing. He's going to be killing it, you
Yeah.
know. And Dez just does not have that. He just has those high point, like back shoulder fades. That's his bread and butter, the
Yeah.
contested catches. And you can only do so much with that on an offense as an offensive coordinator.
Yeah. The NFL is not an old man's league, and I think Larry Fitzgerald is like one of those rare guys that does play into his mid-30s as a receiver, as basically as a non-quarterback. Yeah, I think that as you get older, you tend to probably get cut.
Oh yeah. You think Fitz will get traded?
I think Fitz will probably end up retiring
Yeah.
at the end of this year. I don't think he's going to get traded.
It's sad too because he was going for the Jerry Rice record too this year, and
Really?
I know that's why they wanted to keep Bradford starting him and Patrick Peterson, who Patrick Peterson definitely wants out. Has been very vocal about that. But yeah, I mean, does he retire a Cardinal or does he try to get a championship? That's a weird dilemma.
I don't really
right?
think he's going to give much value to any team that's really going for one.
No, you get him for the rest of the season and that's it, right? But I mean, the same thing with the Le'Veon Bell trade. That was getting a lot of heat, a lot of attention, knowing that you could potentially only have him for half a year, or half a season.
Yeah. But let's jump back into this matchup. You know, Nick got the win, 128.6. He's at 4-3 now. He's in the playoff picture right now. He's definitely in. If the playoffs started today, he would be in. Deebs does not get the win here, and this is the guy who started Andy Dalton.
I mean, I understand why he did.
Yeah.
Any one of us would have been in the same situation. You see
No, yeah.
Kansas City defense. You know their offense is putting up points. You know their defense is putrid. So you expect blowout. Everyone puts up
100%.
points.
This is like a great pickup on paper this week, and it just did not pan out. 7 points. If Deebs had a great quarterback this week, for example, like Mahomes, he wins.
Oh yeah.
But he does not.
7 points. Oh my gosh.
And he was still in it because Gurley, man. And 28.6 points from Gurley. Is that a below average game for this guy?
Gurley, he never scores. He hasn't scored below 22 once.
It's
I don't
crazy.
even understand. Like I was watching that game for as much as I could bear because it was a trash game, and they were catching him behind the line often, and I was like, oh, maybe they're just send everyone after Gurley, but still 28.6 points, like the wear and tear that they're putting on that man, like it's ridiculous.
Dude, and look at
is
this
an
in the fantasy
animal.
Playoffs. Week 16 and 17 against Arizona and against San Francisco. You think they're going to run the ball those times?
Oh my god!
Think they're going to run
that?
that?
Is a dream matchup.
Good for him, man. If he finds his way to the playoffs, he's only 3-4, so it's not clear if he's going to make it in. But with Gurley,
Anything's possible.
It's good. But good performances here from other parts of Nick's team. He had a good week, 111.7, just not cutting it against Nick though. But 14.2 from Mike Evans. 20.7 for Jarvis Landry. Pretty good game out of Landry.
Yeah.
His best game of the year, and definitely a boost of confidence going from like 2.1 points last week. So
he's got
10x is his point total.
Yeah.
It feels good.
Pittsburgh, Kansas City, and Atlanta after. Those are all dream matchups as well. That's what you
Those
want.
are like the three top teams, and maybe if Tampa Bay was in there too. But those alone, you're feeling good about.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he just played. That's why Tampa Bay was the game that he just scored at. So it was perfect. Tampa, Pittsburgh, Kansas City, Atlanta. Yeah, those are the 5 worst defenses. So it's going to be a smooth sailing for Landry for the next couple of weeks. Surprised he's still starting Crowell against Minnesota. I mean, understandable with his options actually, but LeGarrette Blount was an interesting pickup. He did screw me a little bit this week by rostering 2 kickers. Yeah, he picked up Matt Prater.
Yeah.
Dropped him. I wasn't able to get him. Had to start Jake Elliott, who did not do well. And, I didn't understand. I did not understand that. The 2 kickers thing with Greg Leg coming back.
Yeah.
Legatron himself. And again, right up to form. 13 points from the
Dude,
kicker.
the guy's insane. Because I had him last year, and he really did well for me, and he's doing well for whoever has him right now, too,
Yeah.
which is Deebs. And I think he had, in his first game, he had, 16 points or something. Yeah, even when this guy plays, he's going to, put up fat numbers for you. It's crazy. It's just such an advantage in fantasy. And to me, I almost think that we should get rid of kickers. And
I like that idea as well because it's really hard. It's really difficult to be able to predict their output. It's not like you can put a lot of strategy into your kicker, right? I mean, if you're on a good offense, they could still be just doing horribly. There's no find me one analytic source or one one website or ranking system that will give you a cohesive, actually accurate
Yes.
representation of kicker projections. You know, I mean, you can't. There's no way to predict it. So kickers are just kind of, it's like, fuck you, you lost because of the kicker. Like,
I know.
It really is.
It can be a very big part of the matchup
Mm-hmm.
on a very kind of. It's just a lot of points. I mean, they can score up to 20 points sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm like,
you could be on a shit team.
I don't want to do a bunch of good work
yeah.
and have some kicker come and kick my ass like that.
Yeah, I mean, look at Suck Up. The Titans weren't scoring any points for the first few weeks. They were doing horrible through Mariota's injury, and the kicker was the only one scoring points, and he was putting up a lot. I mean, it's weird. It's weird having kickers in there. There's no rhyme or reason to their performance. So,
all right. Next year, no kickers, no defenses. How about that?
Well, defense takes a little bit of strategy. I like the defense in, but like the kickers, I am not a fan of kickers. Yeah.
All right, well, guys, Nick Dudo beats the other Nicky DiBiase this week. Nick in the playoff picture, Deebs right outside, but you like his chances. Congrats to Duto on the win. Good stuff, man. All right, so we're going to move on to our next matchup here. We've got 2 more to go. And I think we'll just go with mine here because this was a weird one. This was a very strange matchup, but I ended up getting the win, 71.8 points for the win against Oscar, who had 60.8, and I think 71.8 is the lowest winning total of the year so far.
Yeah,
most likely.
That is
and
the most limp victory I've
ever
ever seen.
Well, I still got it in, baby.
That is classy. Yeah, you got it. A win's a win. Which is a win is a win.
And like, it's crazy because even looking at Oscar's team, he had the Rams D put up 24 points. So
negative 0.5 from his starting running back.
Yeah.
So that's great.
I mean, I just had a strange week because I didn't have any touchdowns from any of my players. It was so crazy because like AP kind of did well, Adrian Peterson, 11.2 points. Josh Gordon had a 100-yard game, and like he had a play where he like had a 55-yard catch and got down to like the 1-yard line, and I was like, dude, score, man, dude, just please, and he did not. And then in addition to that, O.J. Howard had the same issue, like huge play, same thing. I was just like, dang, what's going on right now? I'm just not getting any touchdowns. But you know, I was glad because I got the win. I was pretty much up the entire time, so I was like, I think I'm gonna get this.
Yeah,
and I really got helped. I'm sorry, you're gonna say something? What's up?
No, I was gonna say it doesn't hurt when he has a gap in his lineup, unlike Ari. Even though he played a less desirable, he didn't play a less desirable position, kicker. He probably would have got trounced regardless, unfortunately.
Well, a huge mistake here. I mean, it wasn't like Ari's where that Oscar would have like gave up value by getting a kicker. Actually, Oscar had a kicker on his team. He had picked up Parkey before this matchup, who's the kicker for the Bears. And he could have put him in. He just didn't. So just a big managerial mistake from Oscar.
Yeah, I was unaware of that. I texted him too. I was like, dude, you got to get a kicker. The Giants are still on the waivers.
You texted him?
I was texting him.
Text him? No way.
I keep tabs on Oscar every so often because he's got my children McCaffrey and Galladay. So
all right, man.
Yeah, from time to time. I think it was after the Amari Cooper trade because I know he's a Cowboys fan. We were talking a little bit about that.
So what did he say? Yeah. What did he say about that?
He said he put in a claim, but it was too late for the Giants kicker Rosas or whatever his name is. But
the Giants.
Yeah, the New York Giants, because he was the last one available, right? He didn't because he didn't realize it was after Sunday, right? So he didn't realize he
had to do it on Sunday.
He had to, yeah. So
can't do it on Monday.
That explains it, yeah. So that's why Parkey was a non-factor,
really?
Right? Because it was a Monday. He didn't realize till Monday.
So he picked him up and he just didn't put him in.
I don't know. Did he pick him up or did he
picked Parkey up on like Thursday?
Oh, so yeah, he just fucked up.
He just fucked up,
and that's his season. He's done now. Yeah, he's
pretty
done.
much. Yeah, and the thing about this, which was interesting, was that I was like, okay, so he doesn't have a kicker. I'm up by like 11 points here. I could still lose if he gets a kicker, and there's 2 he could get. And I see this guy has Mason Crosby on bye, so he could drop Crosby on Sunday and pick up one of the 2 guys playing on Monday, which were the Atlanta kicker and New York. And I was like, he's going to go for Atlanta.
Of course.
Because it's a higher projected total by ESPN. I thought maybe the Hispanic angle, because Rojas is like a little bit. But I was like, he's probably going to go for the higher projected total. So I put a claim in on the Atlanta kicker. And I dropped like Mike Davis. And I was like, all right, so that way he tries to get him. Yeah. I actually had waiver priority on Oscar, so I got him. I got him. Super good move. I don't know if Oscar tried to pick him up, but this guy from Atlanta, he had 16 points. Yeah. If Oscar would have got him, I would have lost. Yeah, yeah. And I wasn't going to let him get him. I wasn't going to let him get.
No, I pulled the same move in one of my other leagues as well with running backs. But yeah, it literally was just a kicker away from winning, and Yeah, he's
Just a crazy week from Oscar this week.
probably just planning for the future at this point now.
Yeah, 1 point from Bortles. Oh, negative 0.5 from Breida.
They benched Bortles.
Yeah, I was happy about that. I was like,
the
let's
former
go.
Browns, Cody Kessler, for the former Browns quarterback.
Who I think did better than Bortles.
Yeah,
when
he
was playing.
did. He did. His team was against him. They were, I know when they were doing the press interview later, they had the door, they opened the door to the Jaguars locker room, and there was a fight ensuing. Like, people were getting pulled off. Yeah, there was turmoil in there.
Inside the locker room?
Yeah, it was like Yannick Njoku and a few
so
other
the Browns
players as
went
well.
to the Jaguars.
No. The Jaguars were fighting amongst themselves.
But not Njoku.
No, Yannick Njoku was on the D-line.
Oh, there's two Njokus. Oh, shit.
Yeah, or maybe in Jockway, maybe they pronounce it differently.
Different,
yeah, but it's one of those types of names.
That's not the kind of situation you want.
No, and they were
good.
cheering for Kessler on the sidelines as well. Like, the defense is downtrodden. Look at them, like they're a powerhouse, and now they're just getting trampled.
Super weird for me in Jacksonville that they basically bench Bortles, and then they go out and say on Monday that they're going to start him again. It's like, what?
I don't get it.
Why?
I don't get it. But I mean, what are their options right now, right? I mean, like, apart from acquiring a quarterback in trade, they need to pick up Kaepernick, right? I mean, they have no options.
They could get Carr. I think they could probably
get Carr, but do they want Carr right now?
I think it's better than
Bortles playing against how Carr's been playing. I mean, dude, Carr is probably going to get traded. And maybe that's why they're saying they're going to start Bortles. They don't want to show their hand. They want a little bit of a competitive edge in the negotiations. But I mean, Derek Carr's his yards per attempt is horrible. Like, he's not been completing anything over 6 yards.
The Raiders can trade him, they will.
Yeah, but I mean, they're in total rebuild mode.
But just Jacksonville doesn't make sense to me because they also picked up. They also traded for Carlos Hyde.
Yeah.
Why? They have T.J. Yeldon. Doesn't make any sense. And they also have Fournette. I mean, the only reason that would make sense is if Fournette's injury is fucked, and they're like, this dude's not going to be in here for the rest of the year. We want fucking Hyde, but they keep saying he's going to come back in a few weeks. So
yeah, I think he is going to come back in a few weeks, but I think that they're also aware of just his injury history, which has been plaguing him since he was at LSU. He's always had injury issues. I remember when I drafted him last year, the beginning of the league, there was issues with his foot, even in preseason,
hamstrings, multiple things.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much all the parts necessary for running. So. Yeah, it's Fournette. Yeah, Fournette's killing me in another league. It's bad. It's bad. But I think it's more of a safety net. I think that they believe still that they can be a playoff tender, that they can take it to the house. I mean, the quarterback is just a big glaring sore on their team.
No.
It's not looking great. It's not looking great now. But yeah, Bortles. Fuck, man. Yeah, you got to get rid of Bortles. You got to get rid of Bortles.
Bortles, baby.
Yeah, it's bad too because he has performances where he does well and he seems to be, making good decisions, doing perfectly, being productive. But yeah, they probably just said that to not affect his psyche. You know what I mean? Because confidence is a huge factor. I mean, look at Carr. Like after the couple bad performances, now he's scared to do anything. He's scared to take those risks. And that's a huge factor when you're making. I mean, quarterback's the most difficult position in all sports.
Jinx, by the way, earlier we both said, but yeah, the same time. You owe me a soda.
There we go.
Or maybe two, but I don't know. But yeah. So guys, I mean, I got to tell you this. I only scored 71.8 points, but I had Devontae Adams on bye and Cooper Kupp was out. So whoever I'm playing this week, better watch out because I got my guys back. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm scoring more than 71.8. So, but that was the matchup. I do get the win. Improved to 3-4. Oscar falls to 2-5. This is a huge matchup between 2-4 teams. Very happy I got the win, boy.
There we go. I know you and Deebs are neck and neck, right?
That's crazy.
3-4 as well.
I wouldn't think that. I wouldn't think that
Deebs would be doing that either. But he's got Jordy Nelson on his bench as well, and with the Amari Cooper going away, I mean. I don't know.
It helps
Jordy.
It helps Jordy, but it also hurts him because now Jordy has to go up against the number one DB. So,
which isn't a problem for Jordy though. I mean, look at the Packers, but he is older. But that crisp route running, man. There we go.
I don't know about that.
Talk about what Dez doesn't have.
Maybe a water bet here, Adam. Jordy Nelson.
Jordy Nelson. For what, rest of season? What is
rest of season? I mean, maybe just You want to do 1 week or no?
1 week?
We're thinking about it?
Nah, Carr's fucked right now. I don't trust him.
I thought you were.
If they could trade Carr too. They could trade Carr. He's got Chris Pratt roots, man. But I didn't try to pick him up off waivers. I
would as well.
What about
there's merit to him.
Jared Cook? Jared Cook all of a sudden has immense value now. Don't have Marshawn Lynch.
That's kind of true.
Also,
that's kind of true.
Yeah, I mean, look who Deebs has. He has Marshawn Lynch, injured reserve, right? And he's got Jordy Nelson, right? So Jordy Nelson will pick up. Jared Cook for sure will pick up. Tight ends are safety nets. If you're like uncomfortable as a quarterback or you're a rookie quarterback, you're passing it to the tight end. Case in point,
100%.
Look at Njoku. I mean,
no, yeah. I think you have a great point that the potential good winner of that Murray trade for the Raiders side could be Jared Cook. I think that's the kind of guy who starts to, because they also, like you said, don't have Marshawn, so who are they going to get the ball to?
Yeah.
But one thing though is Jared Cook's a little old, so we'll see. But I would definitely be happy if I was starting Cook in that role. But guys, we got one more matchup here. We have two solid teams we're going to talk about here. We have Pat, who got the win against Mark, 112 to 95.1. And yeah, so this is actually a water bet. We had the over, basically the point total, and I had 210. And I still got West. It didn't matter, but I think they had like 207.1 combined, so I got that win there.
I don't even remember what I called, but I got wet regardless, so.
But yeah, you still had that pleasure of dumping that shit. Dude, that fucking
right.
kind of hurt a little bit, and you hit me.
Yeah, I was a lot of repressed childhood memories that I had compartmentalized. It all just came out in that moment.
Damn, dude.
I apologize. Yeah. It's
That's kind of fucked
up. A
up.
lot of anger, a lot of rage.
But yeah, so Pat gets the win here. Solid, consistent team here for him. And honestly, dude, I think I might have actually very much helped Pat get the win here because he had Trey Burton in this week, and that was a trade from me. 23.1 points for Trey Burton. That was his highest scoring player.
Ridiculous.
So a normal tight end is going to put up 8 to 10, and so
you'll be happy with that too.
Yeah, it would have been a much closer matchup for sure. But yeah, so I mean, just a solid performance from Pat. Alvin Kamara had a decent game, nothing like huge, but definitely a little reassuring considering he had like weak usage the week before prior to their bye.
Especially against Baltimore.
Yeah, against Baltimore is a tough matchup, and there was like some crazy stat in that game that Baltimore hadn't given up a second half touchdown the whole year.
Yep.
And Breeze was like, nope. That was right there to, I think it was like Ben Watson or something.
They're so stacked at cornerbacks that they rest their top. Because as a cornerback, like you don't get to get taken out as often or maybe at all compared to receivers, right? Receivers get rest. You see them getting taken off, and cornerbacks just have to be out there, man. And their rest, Jimmy Smith, they are stacked. Their defense is nasty.
Yeah.
When you think Baltimore, you think defense, and
and
they were close to win that too.
Yeah, there was like a missed field goal, right?
Yeah, by Justin Tucker's first missed field goal ever. Damn. 222 completions. You should have seen
an extra
his
point,
face.
was it? Or was it?
It was an extra point. Yeah, John Brown got like a long bomb, which I was just so wet over. And then
how do you get wet, dude?
Oh, dude, I'm always wet, man. I get moist. So, and then I walked out and I saw Justin Tucker just miss it, and he's like, the announcer had kind of like cursed him a little bit, but the same thing they say every time, like never miss a field goal, and then you miss it. You should have seen his face,
dude,
his eyes. Joe Flacco looked like he saw a ghost. His eyes bugged out of his helmet.
Tucker's eyes are already like that. Like they're always.
Dude, it was insane. They were interviewing him after. They were doing a press release with the kicker.
That's bad.
Yeah, it
can be both ways, but
dude, Justin Tucker he's like the star of that team. Funny enough, even the coach says Justin Tucker. I can't believe.
Yeah, it's really tough. It's super tough. Obviously, as a fan, it's tough. It's like, god damn. But then also you think about all the good times he's helped for you. But then at the same time, it's like it doesn't excuse it.
No. That's a clutch kick. And if you saw the kick too, it looked perfect. It was in between the uprights, and then it was like God or like Magneto just pushed. It was like,
it was weird. It was
and he forced it to the right. It veered to the right. It's like
At first, it was just right in the middle, and it was like, oh nope, we're gonna start to bend here.
Yeah, and, if it was the Patriots, I would have just said magnets, man. That's what it is. Patriots, they got like a giant fan on the sideline. You see Belichick in his hood.
It sucks. He's not feeling that one.
Oh, no.
But yeah. So Kamara, back to Kamara. I mean, he had 14.5 points. That's his second worst total of the year. That's good.
Yeah, I mean, I expect that you're going to start seeing a lot more of these types of games from Kamara as well. Obviously, he's insane. He's going to be blowing up. He's going to be killing it always. Start Kamara, RB1. But with the introduction of Mark Ingram, it will eat into some of the carries. But I don't think there's any cause for concern.
No way. Yeah,
No,
I definitely.
I know he was trying to shop Kamara. I thought that was a little premature.
Yeah, I could have had him for Adams, but
He offered you for Devontae Adams?
Sort of.
What? He offered me for Gordon, and I was not down for that. Or he's like, oh yeah, Connor and Bell. Obviously not down for because the potential of having 2 RB1s if one of them was to get traded. But yeah, Kamara for Adams, I would have taken that. I would have taken that in a heartbeat, especially
right, well, we'll see. Right now, I think
you're not. I mean,
right now, I think that I'm in favor of it for now, but maybe it would have not worked out. Maybe I should.
I mean, we don't know though. Still, it's been like 2 weeks, and they haven't been. I mean, we'll see. Yeah. We'll see. It's 2 weeks. Kamara could be the norm for Kamara. Doubtful, but it is possible, and Devontae Adams might be a better hold, just because Aaron Rodgers is the one throwing him the ball.
Maybe a water bet for this one. So, but yeah, we're going to keep on this matchup. Again, this is a close game, 112 to 95.1. Pat gets the win, beats Mark. Huge win for Pat, getting up to tie to first with you, I think, actually. But yeah, just a consistent performance from Pat. Like, nothing super standout-ish. I mean, 112 is decent total, but yeah, Kamara 14.5. T.Y. Hilton in his first game back from injury, I believe, scoring 2 touchdowns. Yeah. Great. Out of 4 catches, kind of lucky, but also good. I mean, you're feeling good about Hilton going forward. They don't have that many basically options in Indiana, so you're feeling good about starting Hilton each week.
Yeah.
And then I traded away Keenan Allen, and this was Keenan Allen's first game for Pat, and once again, this guy puts up a fucking sub 10-point game or some shit. I mean, this is why I trade him, because I feel like going forward, you're going to see a lot of 5 receptions for 75 to 80 yards and no touchdowns from Allen potentially. Maybe he'll get a touchdown here and there, and you'll be like, oh, sick, he scored 16 points. But I think you're not going to get much out of him.
No, Allen is frustrated as well. He kicked the pylon, was having sort of like OBJ reminiscent behavior on the sidelines, which he apologized for because he was wide open and Rivers didn't even just look his way.
Man needs to shave his sideburns here. That kind of it's like baldish.
Yeah, that's definitely a little bit of a male pattern alopecia or whatever they call it. But yeah, I think he's going to go up. I mean, there, especially what do they say, like a squeaky wheel gets the grease, right? I mean, after that performance, Rivers is going to be a little bit more mindful and cognizant of giving the ball. But there's so many options. The Chargers are stacked on offense.
Low-key stacked.
I mean, Mike Williams, Tyrell Williams, Keenan Allen. Imagine if they had Hunter Henry and Bosa the whole time and Jason Verrett, man, they'd be stacked.
So I was telling this to my roommate earlier. There's a clip from First Take, which maybe I'll put in the group chat potentially, but they're talking, Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman were talking about the Chargers and how they might get Patrick Peterson from the Cardinals.
Oh.
And Max Kellerman was saying that if the Chargers get Patrick Peterson, then they could be a Super Bowl contender. Possible, especially because they're going to get Joey Bosa back from injury. If they get Bosa and Peterson, obviously it hasn't happened yet with Peterson, but if it happens, they could potentially win the Super Bowl this year maybe. But the cool thing about this whole video was that throughout the video, the entire time, they were calling them the San Diego Chargers. And this came out yesterday. And in addition to that, even the moderator, who's like Sally or some girl that's doing moderating for them for the debate thing, but she's like, LA Chargers, and they just talked right over her and continued to say San Diego Chargers throughout the entire video. Dude, it made me so happy.
San Diego Chargers. I mean, you'll hear announcers doing it constantly. If they're not talking about how the Chargers have no home games, like they're mispronouncing and saying it's San Diego Chargers.
It's such a vibe. Just saying San Diego Chargers. Everyone's saying San Diego Chargers now, and you know what happens when you just communication can create reality. So
NFL
that's
owners they're concerned.
Let's just all make a pact. San Diego Chargers. Everyone say it. Keep on saying that. And I think in a few years, we're going to have them back maybe. Or if you win the lottery, just buy it.
Yeah, right. They're locked into like a 20-year lease, but I know all the owners are having meetings concerning the long-term viability of the LA Chargers because like Spanos is losing so much money, and they're like planes that fly over saying fuck Dean Spanos or go back to San Diego constantly. LA, I mean, if you know anything about LA, you know they like the Raiders, the Rams, or the Niners, right? I mean, no one ever thinks about the Chargers. You're going to put the Raiders' biggest rivals in the middle of Raider Nation. You can say whatever you want about Oakland, but LA, I mean, there's Raider stores. You go on Universal Studios City Walk, there's like, it's Raiders and Dodgers gear.
Yeah.
So I mean, that was just a horrible, horrible decision. And the Rams already had control of had a monopoly on the
100%
merchandising.
It's Ram City right now, especially because they're playing well. And it
doesn't matter how well they do.
It's crazy, yeah, because they're both solid.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously the Rams are slightly more talented, but they're both. Most teams would want to have those rosters. So it's like, yeah, what's going on here? But I think
it's going to waste.
What you're saying is that they're talking about the revenues they're sucking. They're not sure if they're going to sell tickets at the new StubHub Stadium.
And they're not.
It's just going to be a brand new stadium, and people are going to be like, well, I want to go to the Rams game.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're just going to be like, fuck on the Charger game. So in that case, hopefully, potentially would be cool is if before that time, before they start doing the StubHub Center, or wherever they're playing, the new stadium, that they just come back. Like
just for a little bit, see how it feels.
Well, just
dip your feet in the water.
Or just,
see how it feels.
Just come back forever too.
Yeah, right. I mean, the thing is, like the owner of the stadium. I mean, with them being locked in, having the opportunity for not only to get revenue from Rams games being played there, but also Chargers games being played there. Like that's going to be a hard thing to get out of. But yeah, it sucks. You should have seen the London game. They had more Chargers fans in the crowd there than they did any of the games of the past 2 seasons.
Wow,
yeah, it's
crazy.
abysmal. And imagine how they have no home field advantage, and that's a huge thing. The crowd noise, being able to communicate plays, audibles. 100%. Imagine if they did.
Yeah, there's studies that show that, or just history that says that the crowd home field advantage is basically amounts to a 3-point advantage. Like basically, that's how Vegas sees it. Like if the home team gets automatically 3 points in the spread, But yeah, definitely. I mean, even to say that there's been stories and rumors that the Chargers once valued at I think they wanted to change their value to $1 billion when they moved to LA or something like this, or maybe it had to do with revenue. So yeah, there's the revenue projections they had for their business there, and the revenue projection was they had it $600 million, and then they just recently changed it to 200. So they just fucking cut it way off and
they've been
losing the way to fix
so
that is?
much money.
Come right down here. Dude, come to fucking, I want to say they should just build a stadium in Del Mar. Let's do that. All right. But on the other side of the 5 by the,
the
by the fairgrounds. I'm just kidding. That will never happen.
That'd be horrible.
Never ever happen. But hopefully they come back, and let's definitely just jump right back into this fantasy talk, though. Pat,
he got kind of lucky with the win. It looks like Kiki Kuti has not 0.8 points. He was questionable. Vikings did very well. Harrison Butker did well, as we expect on a high-powered offense. David Johnson, though. Who did he trade for? Michael Thomas?
Yeah. They're both underperforming.
Yeah. I mean, you got to hope that the offensive coordinator changes how things are going there. But, I mean, you can't change a shit team. That's the thing. I mean, you got to hope for maybe that Gurley change when they got rid of Jeff
Arizona,
Fisher.
Dude, whatever it is, it's not working out. I would not want to have... I mean, I wouldn't say no, but I wouldn't want to have him as my number one, RB1 right there.
I wouldn't go after him, no. But I mean,
if I could have Zeke and if I could have Saquon, all that, it's not even close. He's not the same as he was.
He fits in that RB2 role right now.
He's RB2.
I feel bad for him too because he's one of the best running backs that's out there. But he
decent games.
But just run up the middle with him every time.
I would rather have other players for sure.
Oh, 100%.
But yeah, marketing 95.1. Okay game. I mean, Rivers had a good game, 19.9. Cohen's been one of Mark's best players here. Over 18 points for Cohen this week. I think Cohen has been scoring well consistently week to week. Definitely better than Jordan Howard.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, 26.9 against, it was against Tampa Bay, but that's still a good total. 19.6 against Miami last week, and then 18.3 against New England this week. Obviously, he's the running back to own from Chicago.
He just fits the Matt Nagy system, man. He's like the Tyreek Hill, pretty much, if you will, of because Matt Nagy was the offensive coordinator for the Chiefs before. That speedster that can get things done, that's Tariq Cohen. Yeah, they have Taylor Gabriel as well, and that also explains his production as well. I mean, those little weird plays and formations that they do,
weird. Very weird.
Tariq Cohen is just smashing.
He's like the Darren Sproles of Chicago.
Yeah, there we go.
But definitely Mark spending the massive $32 on the waiver wire. Good pickup. This is the kind of guy that's worthy of $32 as he's performing. He's happy with it. But you get the loss still, but still, decent performance. Kittle's one of the top tight ends right now. 18.3 points for Kittle this week.
Yeah, I was real bullish on Kittle earlier in the season. I remember I was trying to go after him a lot. I was trying to trade for him. I don't know if we were close to a deal or what, because he had 2 tight ends. It was before he started him and Graham in his lineup. But yeah, there's no way you're getting Kittle from him now. Yeah, he just needs
just like you're not getting Adams from me.
No, yeah, I'll get him. I'll get him. I can be convincing. But yeah, Kittle.
You have to steal my phone for that shit.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, it's different too. You got to think the tight end landscape, like what's available. I mean, I played against Timmy and he started Charles Clay. You know, so the options that people have at tight end, there are none. There are none. If you have a good, solid tight end, you have a huge competitive advantage. If your team is halfway decent with a good tight end, like you can win the league.
Kittle, the tight end 4 of the year, and drafted 160 overall by Mark. A huge plus for him. Good reason why he's 4-3, and maybe a keeper.
Yeah,
maybe.
I would. I mean, regardless of who the quarterback is, he's getting play, right? So Beathard's college roommate, right?
Even if he has a good even if he has a bad quarterback, if he has a good one, damn. But we know he's new to the league, so we don't really know. But
his quarterback's bad now, Beathard, but they just have that connection. I mean, they were roommates and they played on the same team, so he gets fed. I think he's after like Ertz and Gronk and like air yards or something. Like it's ridiculous.
He's solid. Under the radar guy. But so Tyreek Hill as well. Good, solid player. 17.1 for Tyreek Hill. Oh, dude, Tyreek Hill is nuts, man. This guy was another guy that, like, you drafted him, you get better value than pick. I think at least 3rd round, maybe a little high, but dude, he's actually performing though. So
I mean, I'd prefer to have him over Henry, right? And I think he maybe went after Henry.
Could you have gotten him?
Let's check. What number was he again?
33 for Tyreek.
33.
And so if we want to go to you, Adam.
Oh my God, that's gonna crush me if that's the case.
It's a 33 for Tyreek. Where are you on here, Adam? I think you're just number 1 team. I mean, you're number 1, so come on, chill out, bro. But you looking at Henry here, and if we're gonna go to his transactions.
1 pick before Tyreek Hill. What in the fuck, dude?
Were you gonna pick him?
I don't know, but I was gonna pick a receiver. I wouldn't have picked Derrick Henry unless it would have been like the 5th or 6th round maybe. You know? But because I did that, it caused me to like double down and just go running back, you know? So I had no faith in this season.
Wow.
Right after the draft, I was feeling pretty shit. I was like, fuck, I just threw away $100. You know, which is whatever. Now it's doing well. I enjoy playing the game regardless.
Derrick Henry in 32nd pick. You wouldn't have got Thielen.
Okay.
You weren't going to get Mixon, Hilton,
I could have got Diggs.
You would have probably picked Diggs or Hill. I think you probably would have
Tyreek Hill or Stephon Diggs. I would have been able to get.
Look at this.
And I would have done one
Cooper,
of them.
Dude. Oh
yeah.
My gosh.
I could have gotten Cooper too, so I got to be thankful for that, I suppose.
I should have gone with Julio Jones.
But look at everyone who came after.
Why didn't I pick Julio Jones? What am I doing? Why didn't I pick Julio Jones, dude?
Well, you auto drafted on accident, right? So.
Yeah, the whole thing.
So they chose to. I honestly, like pre-draft, I would have picked Keenan Allen over Julio Jones. I had more. I felt better about Keenan Allen. I did.
All right, I want to say no 32nd picks this year or next year. I mean.
Yeah, let's just get rid of them, abolish them.
Well, all right, guys. I mean, so this is the 6th matchup we're doing here, and we did Mark versus who was it? It was Pat, and Pat got the win, going to 5-2. Mark gets the loss, 4-3. Both players still in the playoff picture as it stands now. The playoffs are important, man. And you're feeling great, Adam. You're looking good.
Yeah.
If you don't get in the playoffs, something was an issue.
Yeah. I never feel comfortable. I never feel confident, especially after the last year with me coming back like so far. I mean, any of these teams could, except for Oscar. Sorry, Oscar. I mean, he's not listening to this regardless.
I don't think it's tough to listen to podcasts when you just suck.
Yeah.
But maybe he is listening. Hey,
what's his team name about? What's the tuna mean?
Well, I think that
OS tuna.
I don't know what this is. I think this is supposed to be his name. I guess maybe he didn't spell his name right. String. Yeah. But the second string, I mean, he lost Jarek McKinnon. Yeah. Jarek McKinnon really going to change everything?
Imagine what his team would have looked like if he had kept Le'Veon Bell and he hadn't traded Christian McCaffrey.
It would have been really shitty. Even worse.
He would have had one single win, I don't think.
It would have been really bad. So, so...
You're welcome, Oscar.
Yeah, Oscar? He's not listening right now, dude. You know that.
No, he's not.
But so we got some matchups next week. Week number 8. Huge matchups, and this is where we do some water bets. You did the water bets last week. You came away with the win. I got fucking drenched when I was exiting the gym. Are you going to be in this week?
I suppose I'll do it. All right, what are we betting now?
So what we're going to do is we'll basically pick a player from each matchup. We'll kind of just go through the matchups, and then we can even see if we can get Nick involved in this too when he comes back. Maybe we can hit him up and see if he wants to add a player in the mix like for each one. But for now, we'll pick ours. And so we'll just write them down. We'll just go through the matchups and get one per time. 1 for 1 here. So we'll start off with my matchup. I'm going to go against Pat. Adam's family versus Luck of the Giants. And we're going to basically have 1 for 1 picks, or we can just kind of get creative with it as well. It doesn't matter, but whatever we want to do.
His team is looking a lot less intimidating without Breeze and Michael Thomas. A lot less intimidating.
Breeze is on my team, baby.
Yeah. Deshaun Watson's, man, he's to take a bus because of his injury, because he has a punctured lung.
That's tough.
Yeah, they don't want him to put him on a plane because of the
He's
air
take
pressure.
A bus?
Yeah, he took a bus to the game.
How can he play in an NFL game if he has to take a bus?
Because they don't give a shit about their players. That's why. They don't give a fuck. Yeah,
dog.
It's horrible. It's horrible.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, man.
So I got to tell you this, though. I traded away Trey Burton to Pat. So, and I have O.J. Howard, so maybe we can do a little O.J. Howard versus Trey Burton.
Who's he playing against the Jets, and who's O.J. Howard playing against Cincinnati? I'm trying to think. Kelsey? How old did I think? Well, I'm thinking because I was just wanting to know how Kelsey performed against Cincinnati. I would honestly say Trey Burton would probably be who I have my money on.
Well, I'll go with my guy.
I hope O.J. Howard as well.
I'll go with my guy, man.
I have him in another league, so I'm hoping. But Trey Burton's looking.
All right, man. This is
looking like what he was supposed to be, right?
This is number 1. Adam,
yeah.
You have Trey.
Trey Burton.
And I'm gonna go with my man OJ, and maybe we'll see if we get Nick involved as well.
Yeah. One of my brother's coworkers, Trey Burton's her cousin. So
really?
so she had him on the lineup, and he was working with her the whole shift, and she was just going ape.
Is
dude.
he black? Or what?
He's like The Rock, man. You don't know what he is. He's ethnically ambiguous.
I can't tell, man. It's a white last name, it feels like, but
Burton
he doesn't look very white.
Could be either Trey could be white or black.
He's I think he's a little I don't know.
He's mixed,
like you said.
I don't know, Polynesian or something.
Well, whatever.
Yeah.
All right, well that's that one. Number 1 in the books. Next one we got Bryce is going up against Timmy. Ooh, Bryce, man, does he want to continue his magic?
They're matched up right now in terms of record. Wow. So yeah, Bryce is a factor now.
Huge
Bryce
factor.
is an actual factor.
Fucking sitting good at large with Trubisky as quarterback too.
Yeah. So look at this, Trubisky, Cook.
Ooh, Timmy's got some buys too. Tough.
Oh yeah, those aren't good buys either. Oh, it's just Coleman, right?
Yeah.
Saquon Barkley.
Damn, projected at 105.9 for Bryce. Damn.
That's a high projection. Yeah, what is Timmy projected?
Normally,
94, but he doesn't have a running back in. So I'll throw someone in there. I think Bryce is going to win. There's.
You want to go Bryce versus Timmy straight up?
Yeah, Bryce is going to win.
All right, well, I'm picking Timmy.
Yeah.
I'm picking Timmy on this one because I picked him for the fucking championship, so he's got to win this one.
I don't think Gronk's going to play this week, and that is a huge factor. So he's got Saquon, who's amazing. Chris Carson, he's been doing pretty well, but he's got Coleman out. He's going to have to flex another receiver. He's going to have to flex either Sanu or Beasley. Or No, Beasley's on bye, right? Yeah, Beasley's on bye too, isn't he?
No, I don't think he's on bye this one. Maybe he is. Oh yeah, it says down here that he's on bye. Yeah, he's got 2 buys. But also Bryce does too. He's got Matt Ryan out. So Timmy has players on bye, and then Bryce has players on bye as well. But we do have to do one of these guys for the water bet. What are you thinking, Adam?
Who does he have on bye before I get into this water bet? Let's see, Bryce. Who's Bryce have on bye? I don't even see him. I don't even see anyone that he has on
bye week players. We did have a beer, Adam, but it wasn't that much beer. Bye week players right here.
Matt Ryan. You can stream a quarterback easy. He's got Trubisky in there already, and he's been more than capable in terms of fantasy. So I go Bryce.
Yep, we have Bryce versus Timmy here for the matchup, and that's it. So we'll move on.
Hopefully Tyler Lockett does something for you, man.
Yeah. All right, so the next one here.
Who you got against now?
Let's see this one here. And
then... I mean, we know who's going to win this one. I think it's a. I don't even want to degrade him anymore. I feel bad. Oh, God. All right, so who do you think is going to do better? Philip Lindsay or Christian McCaffrey?
I'm going to go with McCaffrey.
I think Lindsay will do better.
All right. Sounds good.
McCaffrey against the Ravens. I don't know. Or mix it. Yeah. McCaffrey against Lindsay, I suppose.
Well, does that mean I have got McCaffrey and you got Lindsay? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and I hate Lindsay.
Philip Lindsay, man.
As a Royce Freeman owner,
You hate the shit out of him.
I
You
have
hate his
so much
fucking hair.
for him.
You hate everything about it.
See his hair, yeah. I mean, it's a feel-good story, so I gotta like step outside the realms of fantasy.
Is he that good of a player, though? I mean, he's 9.6, 9.6, 16.1 this last few weeks.
I mean, they're just
He's not going to win you a week.
wrong.
He's not winning you weeks.
No, but they're just. I mean, when Lindsay's out there, it could be any type of different thing. But like when Royce Freeman's out there, it's either running it up the middle or doing. It's obviously a specific type of run, or they're doing a pass for his pass protection. Lindsay does not. He gets barreled over. He's tiny, so he doesn't protect against the pass. So Royce Freeman just hasn't got like a fair shot, man. Royce Freeman, I think, is the better running back.
It's so crazy because Lindsay's running back 14 this year, and like it just goes to show, and it's like borderline RB1, almost RB1. Like there's not much depth at the running back position. It falls off really hard. When this guy's 14, you don't think of him as like the guy. The guy has 2 touchdowns the whole year.
Yeah.
So, but it sounds like you're still going to go with him. I mean, Kansas City's a good matchup, so I don't really see why you're not going to go with him. But then I got McCaffrey, who's I think a better player, but he definitely has a tougher matchup. In fact, I probably should even be wary about this because the Ravens' defense is good.
They're nasty, and
so,
they know where Cam's going to go. They're going to be prepared for those dump off passes.
Nonetheless, we're going to put it in the books. Why not just roll the fucking dice here? Adam, you got Lindsay. Myself, I have Mr. McCaffrey, who I suppose in the earlier 2 F's in his name.
There we go.
All right, that's the third matchup we got here. Jake versus Oscar, and as you said, we don't know who's going to win this, but if we were to guess, we think we have an idea of who it is.
I think Oscar's planning for next year now. I mean, the whole kicker thing. Like
Oscar was telling me that he's going to auction off McCaffrey for draft picks. Yeah. So I think we should definitely make a deal with everyone that none of us fucking pay too much. But that's kind of weird. You should do that.
No, yeah,
that's called.
There's no way. That's collusion right there.
Sort of.
I mean, how much can he get for him? Like in the league, I've been trying to get guys off of him for ages.
I think Oscar, if he does it right, he could get a first round pick. I don't think people should be giving first round picks like that.
You can only go to the third, right?
If you make a trade,
that's what they're saying for trading draft picks. You can only trade. That's what they're saying in the group chat. I thought you could do it first.
Okay. Well, that's different, but I would say that most likely he'll probably get the best possible.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I know whatever someone else offers for any of those types of trades, I'm gonna try to one up just because I want to win. I've never won a league. I'm going for it. I don't care about next year. I got keepers, man. I got keepers for next year. I can afford it.
I guess, man.
James Conner for my last pick. He's going to be the running back for the Steelers next year.
I can't believe I fucking traded him.
Yeah, I mean, it made sense, though, because with what we knew at the time.
Bell didn't even come back this week. Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm pissed about that. I thought he was going to, and there were like reports that he was going to
come Monday. I was telling you, like...
He's preventing himself from getting traded. That's what he's doing.
Basically, like, I was saying, like, just because he's saying he's coming back week 7 doesn't mean he's going to.
No, he said he's coming back week 1 and then week 2. I mean, he's looking out for himself right now, and that makes sense.
I feel like, dude, I think there's something else going on. I feel like maybe was injured and he's like not saying something, or maybe he was taking some PEDs and so he's just not showing up. Well, I know that if he does go, there's an X factor somewhere that has to do with this.
Here's the thing.
This is strange.
If he did report to the Steelers today, I would have like 95% confidence in saying that he would be traded to the Eagles. 100%. The Eagles have still been they've been talking.
Yeah,
they've still been talking. Steelers are shopping him. He knows that would happen.
And so you don't want to trade. You don't want to trade Le'Veon? You told me you're not going to.
Yeah, no.
You don't want to trade a guy who's sitting on your bench.
Nope. Out. That's right, because I can afford to just wait.
You're lucky.
Yeah, because if I'm wrong on there, and then Connor ends up taking a back seat and it's just Le'Veon, then
you're not trading either of those guys, are you? Is there?
I don't know. It would have to be super enticing for me to do that, because we know Connor's going to get to work. We know he's playing this week for sure. It's just there's no way to know. But I know that Le'Veon doesn't want to be traded, right? I mean, if he goes to another team and he doesn't do as well, he has to learn the scheme, all the plays, everything like that, and he doesn't do as well as he was on the Steelers, then the amount of money he's going to get is going to be very low when he hits free agency.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what his scenario is, but by the way, yeah, we just had to check and make sure we're recording. We are recording. We're good to go. But yeah, it's just a strange situation. It's very strange, but I definitely want to talk trades with you. We're going to maybe save that for another time. We got some more matchups to get into. We've gone through mine. We've gone through Jake's. We've gone through Bryce's as well with Timmy, and then now we're gonna hit up Mark versus Nick Deebs, a huge matchup. Mark's 4-3, and Deebs is 3-4. Whoever wins this is gonna put themselves in position going forward. I mean, obviously, kind of Deebs wants this one a lot, but Mark,
just to be competitive.
If Mark wins this, he's gonna really put him up there at the top. Like,
yeah, he'll kind of like cinch playoff spot right there.
Potentially.
As long as he doesn't
We get another view of that.
massive
Nice.
losing streak.
Nice titties right here from Deebs. Thank you, brother.
I wanted one of those videos so bad when I was a kid.
Dude, same, brother. Like 1-800 big tits. Call that number now. Just take the parents' credit card and just no.
Yeah, and they'd all be like, "Sorry, man."
With Mr. Get your here my credit card. The numbers in. Just tell me when it's gonna arrive so I can go pick it up the door before I'm
Super funny.
I mean, my son.
My son will be picking it up. Yeah, don't you know?
Yeah, there's a kid. The kid's gonna sign for it at the door. All right. I'm at work. All right. So, but yeah. Anyways, so 3-4 for Deebs here. Damn,
he's already got
crazy.
Jordy Nelson in his lineup.
Jordy Nelson.
Since we've started this, he's put Jordy Nelson in his
changed
lineup. Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have an option though, right? Lynch is out. Cobb, you're not going to trust. You cannot trust Cobb.
I don't even understand. Like, is he's kind of semi-rosterable now? Like, you don't even know if you're going to roster him.
Randall Cobb?
Yep.
I personally wouldn't want him. Just
it's
based
taking up
on
space.
history, man. Yeah.
And like looking at his games, I mean, he had a good game week 1. I think it was like
It was just blown coverage though.
But that was true. Yeah, it was one play. It was like a 60-yard touchdown. So take that out, 80 yards and a touchdown. Not bad, but yeah, 5 points week 2, 2.2 weeks 3, and then an injury. So I mean,
this is the same issue that people who have had Cobb have had for years. I mean, if he's healthy and he plays, he's a monster.
He used to be great. He used to be like huge.
Yeah,
but like obviously as
the injuries,
the time does make it. It has an effect.
You can't trust him.
So but yeah, so Deebs, wow, hugely outprojected here. 111.9 for Deebs in here versus Mark's 103.8. I mean, you'd expect Deebs to win, but it's crazy.
I haven't seen a projection that high, I don't think, before.
It's pretty
I thought the 105 was pretty low.
He's getting a lot from Gurley.
Yeah, Gurley's just, what's his projection? 22.2. Smart, and that's the lowest. He's never scored lower than that.
That's
so.
low. But then even ESPN's like, we're not going to do it higher because that's crazy.
Yeah, right. Jesus Christ.
Maybe we can look at Tyreek Hill here versus... do you dare say Tyreek Hill versus Gurley, or is that just like unfair?
No, so you can't do Gurley against anybody. You would have to do a combo. Yeah.
We don't want the fucking combos.
He's got Baldwin starting. That's interesting. I got Deebs on this one.
I'm going to pick Deebs for the win.
Yeah, but we're not going to water bet that one just because he's got Gurley on his team. So, all right.
Who
do you think should do better, Crowell or Javorius Allen?
Gurley's just anti-water.
Look at.
He's just like literally Jesus. Like, he goes by water, just sprays off.
He glides. He's like one of those.
Doesn't even touch him.
The basilisks, those like water lizards that run. You can't go against.
Jesus Christ, Gurley. Fucking Carlos Jr. commercials, bitch.
Yeah, right.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's tough to put Gurley in there. We can. Do you want to maybe
Kittle or Kelsey or?
I know who I want.
Crowell or Allen.
Crowell versus Allen.
Yeah, it's
not doing
the matchup nobody
that
wants.
Sucks.
Yeah, it does suck.
Those players are.
That's close.
Those players are gross.
Yeah, they are. They are pretty gross.
It's like, which pile of shit do you like?
Yeah.
Which one smells? Which one's browner?
Yeah, none of them.
What about Kittle? Do you like Kittle?
Not over Kelsey, but I do like Kittle. And Denver's notorious for being weak against the tight end for like the past 2 seasons.
You know, we talked about Nelson. Maybe you want to think about Nelson versus Doug Baldwin. You liked Nelson, didn't you? Or do you not like him?
I would say Nelson. I mean, I don't like anyone that's on. I mean, outside of Cook, there's not really anyone on the Raiders that I like. Wait, we have the most brilliant matchup in front of us right now. We didn't even look at it.
What is it?
Greg the Leg versus Justin Tucker.
Oh, that's hot. Oh, that's hot.
That's a good one.
That's so hot. Well,
two stalwarts, man. 2 titans.
Okay, I got Zerline.
Behemoths. Yeah, Greg Zerline?
Yeah.
All right, I'll take Tucker then, I guess. Tucker's going to redeem himself, man. He's going to make an 80-yarder.
All right,
compensate for his missed kick.
All right, dude, are we good? Oh, that was a good one. That was a nice pick there. Nice picking that one out there. Greg, I'm gonna say Greg versus Justin. Good old JJ, Justin Tucker.
There we go.
All right, well, we got 4 down, 2 to go. As we head into the end of this week number 7 here, guys. So much fun this week. Adam, thanks for coming in here, dude. This has been fun, man.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. I like the sound of my own voice, so I thought this would be a good outlet.
Well, mine's better, so.
Yeah, there we go. Nice sultry velveteen voice.
Cool stuff, man. All right, this
Always
has
like
been
to talk football.
This has been fun, dude. But we're gonna finish this up here. 2 more matchups to go. Your matchup. You know you're going up against Max. Did you know that?
Yeah, with Melvin Gordon on bye.
Oof. But you get Connor back, so you're feeling
true.
good. And also you're happy that Gordon's on bye because
he gets to rest his hammy.
He probably wasn't going to play. Hamstrings are tough.
Yeah, they are. And they said it might have been like a dehydration thing.
What's going on? Wait, so what time did that happen? What time did you find out about that?
So I heard that, I mean, he went down like a little bit weird during the game, apparently, and then...
The game?
Yeah, during the last game, like he...
during the last game.
Yeah, he walked a little weird, and then after the flight, which was a long, it's like 11 to 13
hour flight. It was the flight?
After the flight, they said that he was having a little bit of hamstring. That's when they released kind of a statement.
Because they didn't say it earlier in the week at all.
No. And they're like, oh, maybe dehydration or something. And
maybe a little bit much partying in London, in London clubs,
hitting the pubs, man. Yeah, getting all the birds.
Yeah.
So that was a little bit of concern to me, and I guess to them too. And they're like, well, we don't want to end up with a Leonard Fournette, Dalvin Cook situation, so we're just gonna rest him. And that's the only thing you can do for those types of injuries, man. It's really easy to re-aggravate those. Yeah.
So
we had those in the bag. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I guess good call, and didn't really either way, whatever. He'll probably. I'm guessing he'll come back next week, so you're looking good there. But this matchup here, damn, a lot of check marks for Max. They're projecting kind of low here, brother.
Yeah.
What are you missing here? This is Uzuma's.
Corey Davis is on bye.
How the fuck are they going to put Uzuma as a 5.3 against Tampa Bay?
I have no idea. He's the only one to catch the balls there, too.
They're getting killed against the tight end.
Yeah.
They've given up 22 points in week 2, 20 points in week 3, 15 points in week 4, 17 points in week 6, and 13 points in week 7 against tight ends.
Yeah. And he's the only one there to catch it, and he's going to be Dalton's going to be focusing on throwing to other people than AJ Green this week.
This projection is whack.
You can't go by projections.
5.3.
That's the thing.
Ugh.
I never go by projections, man.
It's dumb.
Yeah.
But damn, James Conner, looking good, dude. I mean, Carlos Hyde. I'm curious about Carlos Hyde. How much production is he going to get?
Not much against Philly, I would think, especially if he's splitting with Yeldon.
You want to say, okay, his year-long carries so far tend to be around between 15 and 23. So do you want to talk about an over/under for carries for him? I would go over.
Weird. I don't even know how to quantify that.
I would say over/under 14.5.
I would say under.
Yeah, I'd probably say under too because he's probably not going to get that much play because it's his first game.
And and I think with Yeldon. They'll probably who are they playing to? Philly. They're probably going to come from behind too. That's more of Yeldon's game. It's more of a pass catcher.
Yeah, I feel like Jacksonville's going to do that in most games. But maybe we can look at that little.
Sanders versus Kansas City. Nice.
Sanders. You're feeling good. You look at your lineup matches for the first time.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, I'll go with Thomas if you want to get Sanders.
Thomas versus Sanders?
Actually, fuck that. No way. Going against Minnesota, I do not want that.
They don't have Xavier Rhodes, though.
I think you might have sold me. You might have sold me, homie. So, I'll go with him.
Thomas over Sanders?
Yeah. I got Thomas in.
All right,
if you're down.
I got Sanders.
You good?
Yeah.
All right, well, that's number 5.
I like that.
5. Thomas for Chris. Sanders for Adam. All right. Well, we have 5 down, 1 to go, and maybe one more to go. The last matchup we have here, a classic one, guys. Nick versus Ari. Ari 2-5. Nick 4-3. The good old guys here. Big matchup here for Ari. Certainly, he needs to win. Nick could probably do with the loss, but obviously he still wants it. What do you think?
Doesn't have Zeke. It's got Lamar Miller. Miami.
Zeke's on bye, huh?
Yeah.
Wow, what a great week for Amari Cooper to show up.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Yeah, right.
He'll probably play
2 buys. 2 buys with Amari Cooper.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah.
It's unheard of there. 2 buys in a row. Never happened.
It's good. Gives him some time to rest, right? He got late.
Yeah, he needed that.
Man, yeah.
Julio Jones on bye too.
Oh, wow. That evens the playing field a lot. But he's got so much receiver depth, and he's also... I mean, we did a trade, too, this week, so...
Yeah.
He's got but I don't even think he's going to be playing my guys. Geronimo Allison. Royce Freeman and Geronimo Allison. I definitely think that's probably a better play over Larry Fitzgerald.
Did you give Royce Freeman to Nick?
Mm-hmm.
You told me earlier you're a Royce guy there.
Yeah, because I had him.
But now you don't.
No. Now I'm going to have Kenyon Drake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Kenyon Drake and Evan Ingram, and that's why I'm trying to get rid of another tight end.
Miami, man, but I guess he could do well.
Yeah.
It's interesting, by the way. Jacksonville's. It looks like it's a London game, 9:30 a.m. Eastern, so that's a big morning game there. And it's not fun.
I'm like forever traumatized now.
I wish they play those games like later or something. They should play them on Saturday.
This one's a little later, right? The last one was at 6 a.m.
They're both at 6:30. This is an Eastern.
Oh, this is Eastern time that they have it set.
ESPN
it
is
is
always an Eastern time.
Oh,
man.
wow,
it's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, that sucks.
ESPN sucks, man. But yeah, that's the same one. I don't know. 6:30 is tough. I mean, it's much easier for guys on the East Coast. But I guess they get the benefit. They get that that feeling that we get because we get the 10 a.m. game. We get out of bed. Like I like to set it up so that I get up at 9:30.
Football all day.
I was like, all right, alarm 9:30. Just good to go. Just get ready to go.
I just drink beer and do homework and watch football all day.
I need to drink more beer at that time. That's probably why you're doing better than me because you drink more beer.
Yeah. I work for Stone, man. It's ingrained in me now.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, I don't start until the later ones though. Otherwise, I'm not productive at all.
Do you work on Sundays?
No. Sundays is the one day I have off.
Can't work Sundays. That's my only part.
I do like homework and stuff too, and I'll just be drinking like for the first part of the day. I'll just go like a pot of coffee. That's why I'm active on the group chat, all frantic and shit, because I have like heart palpitations from fucking drinking so much caffeine.
Let me give you some advice though for that. When you study, that's what I heard actually, and I found too. Is when you study for a test, if you're have certain substances in you, you basically want to have the same like level
exactly to trigger the memory.
So basically, my rule is just don't drink when I'm studying, because then I know that if I take the test,
you gotta be drunk.
I'll have to take a drink. So I just make sure don't ever drink or any other stuff. Hopefully that passes on to you well, but.
I used to do the same thing when I would smoke weed and study. I would make sure I smoked weed for the test. It used to be helpful. I can't do it now, but no. Now I
wouldn't do that at all. But so I mean, I don't know what. Maybe we can get some Nick Chubb involved here. Nick Chubb is interesting, dude.
Nick Chubb versus. I mean, there's no equivalent that he has on the team. That's the thing. That's why it's so difficult. Stephon Diggs or AJ Green, or Sterling Shepard or Julian Edelman.
I mean,
James
honestly,
White or
we can look at some AJ Green action, maybe for Stephon. But is that? What do you?
I mean, AJ Green's gonna get the work.
They both have good matchups, though. I mean, that maybe it makes it so that AJ Green is still more talented or viable there. Tampa Bay for AJ Green, New Orleans for Minnesota. So, but I feel like New Orleans has got a better defense than they have shown. They played pretty well against.
Well, they just got Eli Apple on a trade too.
Nice. That's what I like to hear.
Yeah, so
I like it when
be a bit better.
I like that when they let up points, that maybe Bryce can score more. But
yeah, Bryce is going to be going down a little bit probably.
I'm not sure what to do here.
Well, Ingram and Kamara too. Oh yeah, there's nothing. Defense.
James White.
Defense is good.
But,
Bears against the Jets. Eagles against Jacksonville.
I'm not.
I mean, there's nothing comparable.
James White on Ari's side, and then. I'll give you Kareem Hunt.
All right.
I don't care.
All right, Kareem Hunt then. Yeah, I'll take
James White.
Obviously, I'll take Kareem Hunt over.
I got James White, my boy.
James White against Buffalo.
Oh, that's an interesting one. They're both good.
Yeah,
I think they're both good.
Yeah, no, it's hit or miss. I mean, we're coming off of like a little bit of a bias because Kareem Hunt got 6 points, but
you don't say that about Kareem like a couple weeks ago. He was so under the radar, but now he's just crazy.
I mean, I had him in a different league last year, and I was stoked, man. The first game, 40-something points against the Patriots. Oh yeah.
I feel like the Chiefs always do that. They have like some random RB1. It's like Spencer Ware.
They always have one player that's just a stud. Like every.
But he gets hurt or something.
Yeah. So I mean, every time that I have a Chiefs player on my team and it's a new Chiefs player, they always go off. I don't know what it is. Andy Reid's just like a savant, man.
All right, so side bet. So basically tiebreaker here. Sammy Watkins. Ari's infamous tight end, non-tight end guy.
We can do same team, right?
We can do over under for amount of points he scored. I'm gonna say over under. I'm gonna say under 6.5.
I'll take the over on that.
I just gave you way too many points. Fuck.
Yeah, you did. You gave me way too much.
Damn it.
We can scratch that one if you want. How about Marvin Jones versus
Now I'm confident here, actually.
Julian
I'm feeling
Edelman?
good about it.
Yeah,
I want
take it. All right, man. California's, we're in a drought. We got to conserve water, so it's better if you just lose all three, so we don't have to,
Well, I'm gonna get. It's a tiebreaker, by the way, so it's not like Kareem Hunt. Or no, it's Watkins. Under 6.5.
And I know Dudo, so I'm assuming
we'll hit him up.
Dudo wants to say Peyton Barber over Kareem Hunt, so just jot that down as well. Yeah, he thinks Peyton Barber is going to do better than Kareem Hunt. He was saying that all day. Get Dudo wet again.
You gotta check that with Dudo first.
Yeah, obviously being facetious.
But yeah, so we'll hit Nick up and see if we can get him involved because we wanted to do have the three-way action. Nick, unfortunately, sorry you couldn't join us this week, bro. It's been fun having you. But Adam, dude, fucking sick job replacing him, man.
Thank you.
Good stuff. But actually, before we get out here, man, let's just look at these standings. Run through them real quick. I'll do the first 6, and you can run to the second half. So Adam first place 5-2, along with Pat and Max at 5-2 as well. Adam having the most points, followed by Pat, and then Max. And then we've got 2, 4, and 3 teams here. Sticky Hands versus Nick, and then Mark with return to the Mac. And then in 6th place we have the top scoring 3 and 4 team with Nick DiBiase. Gurley's gone wild.
Damn.
And then we have the next 6.
Thick Thylons on Timmy's crew, or it's Hurts for Bryce. Fucking Flutie Flakes, the Addams family, Zeke Gonna Eat, and then Oscar, second string.
Oscar perennial last place right here right now for sure.
His .2.
Dude, that guy lucked out that there's no punishment for this year.
Yeah. There should be some sort of incentive.
We're gonna have to. I think there's some incentive because in the playoffs for the consolation bracket, it determines your draft order for the next season.
Is this points against too?
Yeah, we have got points here as well.
Wow, I have the second highest points, third highest points against, right? No,
points against. I think you're doing pretty well out. I think you're the top scoring team. Yeah, just back to that, the playoff pictures. The playoffs is top 6, so the top 6 get in. So it looks like even this 3 and 4 team here, it looks like one of them is going to get in. It's going to maybe come down to how many points you scored, and I am fucked in that category. But Adam, you're killing it right now, buddy. All the teams are doing well here. Points against. I have the lowest points scored and the lowest points against. It's just not much going on right now, but that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. So, where are we at here? Adam, the second highest points against. Not only are you killing it, but you're weathering the storm. We talked about this last week. Good shit, man. Good shit.
I'll show you, Dad.
All right. All right, cool. So, yeah, points for Adam has the most, and Deebs as well. But, yeah, it's all about the record this year. The points don't really matter that much. But super fun week this week. Good stuff. Got the water bets in. Thanks for coming by, Adam.
Yeah.
And thanks for the beer as well.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
All right, guys. With that being said, enjoy your football. Good luck in next week. And we will see you in week number 8. Bye now.
Sure.